Hello everyone, this is White Wolf, and we're going to be talking about guarding our psychic hearts. What does it mean to really protect ourselves? What does it mean to only have the electromagnetic kinetic source energy field be filled with love, joy, and resonance, and knowing that you are a sacred temple of sorts. So understanding that your energy is a sacred place to only have your energy, your abundance, your creativity, and we must guard our hearts and not allow the world to influence us in a negative way, but to allow our spiritual journey to influence us in a very positive light, and to only have the things within our field be what we represent, what sets the example, what sets the intention, what allows us to protect ourselves and to know that we're here to guard our hearts and we don't allow others to influence us. We only allow the divine to influence us, the I am presence to influence us. So it's not just listening to other people, but it's listening to your higher self, it's listening to your counsel, it's listening to your guides. And it's also knowing like where your energy is supposed to be and knowing where your field is. Everybody has a field of energy that they're supposed to be in. Everybody has a lot of people that they relate to and that are you are supposed to speak to them. They're supposed to resonate with you, and they're supposed to embody your truth so they can embody their truth. And we're all here to learn about our own truth and to be our own ascended master. And I wanted to talk about the 3-layer protection grid that I put over my lives, that I put over everything that I do now, because I put it over my home, north, east, south, and west. I put it like 1,000 angels, my guides, dragons on each side of the house. And it's of a golden bubble, a bionic blue bubble, and a fiery bubble. And it's the number 3. So if that has any significance towards you. And I put that over there because Metatron allows you to protect your home, and it's as good as rose quartz and copper. And also burning sage is very good for you. And it's just knowing that by guarding our hearts, it means that everywhere we go, we have to guard our hearts. We have to psychically protect ourselves, and we have to protect what our temple wants to be a part of, and also our filter, also our perception on everything that we go through within our spiritual journey. We have to be fully omnipresent. We have to be fully aware and be observant of the observer observing. So we allow ourselves to not only learn about who we are, but learning about energy and learning about our sensitivity and our vulnerability, and also our empathic ability, and knowing that we're always using telepathy all the time. And it's like if you're around a person a bunch and they got really bad energy, or if you have a pool guy, like we've had like pool people come over, and sometimes when they would leave, there would be an area where their energy would still be there. And you got to get rid of that energy. But you're not always aware of that all the time, but you just have to learn as you go. And learning how to go about your day and not allow the world to affect you. So that was my opening for this live feed. So now, also, you can book private sessions with me. I'm White Wolf for readings, healings, activation codes, downloads, and loved ones on the other side. So book a private session for 1 hour for $70. And thank you for joining the live feed. And I just want you guys to know that a lot of people will come to you as psychics, and they will try to influence you, and they will try to want certain things out of you. But you have to want and desire and have the passion for the things that you want out of your life. At the end of the day, it is your journey. So don't allow others to try to bully you or try to make you worship them or put them on a pedestal. I want you to, pay homage to the I am, pay homage to God, and also your guides and your higher self, because ultimately that's all you need. Because a lot of people can tell you different things, a lot of people can influence you in a lot of different ways, but just be your own ascended master. The world tries to influence us on a day-to-day, moment-to-moment basis with TV, with the way we dress, with the way that we go about life. And it's understanding that every piece of your life, like your clothing, the things that you watch, the things that you listen to, the things that you're receiving as the consumer, you have to change the filter, you have to change the vessel, and you just have to change and transform with the newfound consciousness that you are. So I made this title because I knew it would trigger some people, because I said guard your psychic hearts, and when people hear psychic, they have a negative connotation with that word. And I have no problem saying it at all, because it's going to trigger people, because they're going to assume, and it's using that discernment and that wisdom to dissolve the realm of assumption and to not assume any position, to not assume that you're this person, and not to assume that you're just this physical body with this physical brain, but you are an embodiment of the soul. So understanding this, we can align to that vibration and align to that truth. That by guarding our hearts is meaning that every day we have to battle and counterbalance all of the darkness, all of the negativity, all of the opposition that tries to throw us off the path. And you don't always have sage with you, but sometimes it's saying clear, and sometimes it's just using your authority and trying to change the energy wherever you go, because wherever you go as a light worker, you're going to change the energy. Sometimes you'll move to places, and you'll move to Arkansas, or you'll move to South Carolina, and you're just there for a specific amount of time, and you're just changing the energy there. Or maybe you have a past lifetime with another person that you need to clear that energy. And maybe sometimes you'll have like a twin flame relationship, and then you'll get out of that and you'll meet with your soulmate. Or maybe I had 2 dogs who have gone into my yard on 2 occasions now, and they were so comfortable with me taking them back to their owners, and they listened to me, but they knew me in another lifetime. Like, I led them in the Marines, and I grew up with them in the 60s. So those dogs knew who I was, and they were comfortable with me. And when I commanded them, they were very receptive, and they listened to me. Like, if I told them to stay somewhere, like I took them to the door and I told them stay, and I knocked on the door and talked to the lady and I said stay, and they stayed. But they probably wouldn't have listened to another person like that, but I had another lifetime with them, and that's why we kept crossing paths, because those 2 dogs in their souls knew who I was. And they were comfortable with me, and they were very friendly dogs. But it's simple things like that. It's like sometimes you just need to act upon something, because it's going to change the energy of a new manifestation. Like, if you've been putting something off for a while, and this is what I mean, guard your psychic hearts at all times, because sometimes not acting on something will actually generate more resistance and more negativity. And not being of an action nature, you're actually suppressing something that wants to come out of you and wants to manifest and wants to generate out of energy. So yeah, and so you guys can book a private session as well for 1 hour for $70. This is White Wolf for psychic readings, healing, activation codes, downloads. And it's like this person said, I'm over the energy I'm in right now. You have to be over the energy that you're in right now in order to become the person that you want to be, because the other person knows who you are. And that is really powerful what you said. I'm over the energy I'm in right now. And then go from there and keep speaking that faith, that victory, that empowerment, because then even if you have to speak the negativity first, to the point where it leads you to the empowerment, because you have to face yourself and you have to accept yourself. To really initiate a change. And sometimes it's just about doing it. And sometimes you're not always going to feel good in the midst of doing something. But ultimately, these circumstances and reflections and different things will come out of you, and then it will initiate another change, and you'll actually grow from it. And this person asks, yes, I do mediumship. I do readings, healings, activation codes, downloads for $70 for 1 hour. So like when this person says, I'm over the energy I'm in right now, that's very powerful and it's empowering, and everybody should say that at least one time to themselves. I'm going to say it for myself. I'm over the energy I'm in right now. I want more. I want to multiply from this energy I'm in right now, because I'm an electromagnetic kinetic source energy. Because you're always spinning on your axis, and you're always moving, and your soul's all over the place. Your soul is not just here. Your soul is everywhere. It's in different realms, different planes, and different universes, and also just combating the energy. And also where you go in your dreams, your soul is always working 24 hours. It's been working for an eternity. And I think that people don't understand that when we're talking about, the soul. Our soul is working on our behalf when we're sleeping, when we're exercising, when we're going through our job, and that's the illusion to see through. And it's something to see through because you're focused on your third dimension, you're focused on your job, you're focused on your girlfriend you don't like, you're focused on your parents saying you're not living up to your full potential, and then, you're kind of like, fuck this. You're like, fuck that. I don't care. I'm not living for people's expectations of what they want me to think that I am, want me to assume what I should be. Maybe I don't want to have kids right now. Maybe I want to progress on my spiritual journey. Maybe I want to explore more out of myself. And sometimes guarding your psychic heart is exploring more out of yourself. I've channeled Ashgar Command and I've channeled Archangel Michael. And sometimes when I would channel those beings, I would have to clear the energy because it's a different energy. It's a different energy from your higher self and there. Like I've had to, I remember I did a channeled message in front of my girlfriend about my life and my journey and how my story of my life is kind of similar to Joseph's in the Bible. So I would have to, I channeled that message, but then I'd have to clear the energy because I was channeling. I was opening my vessel up to my higher self. So even when you're channeling and exploring stuff, explore. Don't be afraid to explore, but knowing that you have to maintain that energy, maintaining your energy, because you can have so many people come into your house, in and out of your house. And also in life, sometimes we've had our whole life decided for us. Has anyone felt like that in this live feed? Have you ever felt like in your life that you didn't have control over something, or you felt like someone was deciding something for you? It's not a good feeling. It's not a good feeling spiritually. That's why we reshape our emotions. It's not bad to have emotions, and it's not bad to have feelings. We always think that, oh, just good feeling, positive. That's always a given. That's the nature of God. But feel your emotions. Feel your emotions. Know that you have the choice and that you can pick your thoughts. You can pick your destiny. You can pick that favorite song that resonates within your heart every single day. Something that just flutters your heart, and it just it's an ongoing thing because you're beating to the tune of your own drum. But don't suppress your emotions, because then that's actually not guarding your heart, because then you're allowing other forces, other things to come in and try to influence you. And you want the goodness, the blessing, the divine to influence you in the most positive way. Yes, like this person who watches my feed, hello, how are you doing? Counterproductive. So sometimes it's like when we're trying to guard our psychic heart, in a sense, we can self-sabotage ourselves, We can self-sabotage. And we're also going to be doing a meditation on how to put a 3-layer protection grid. I'm going to show you guys that. So stay tuned and stay in the feed, and also know that you can book private sessions for $70 for 1 hour for readings, healings, activations. And we're going to do a meditation soon. So it's hard to guard our psychic heart because we can self-sabotage ourselves, and we can also just feel like we're unwilling to look that person in the mirror and accept them, and know that we're going to have days where we heal and to tap into worthiness, because I started out as a healer. I did only healings, and I did healing the other night, but I had to change up my energy. I had to change up with the growing nature of consciousness. I had to switch up the energy. And it's just okay, I do my meditations now because that's more of who I am right now. And some of my first lives that I've ever did were really cringy and pretty bad, and they were bad takes, I think. I mean, I love that person that I once was, because that person helped me get to where I am today, even though I think my first lives were really kind of cringy. But they were what I needed at that time, and they were foundational. So that person was beautiful because that person allowed me to be this person that I am right now. And I think that's real. Because you can't just like, man, I hate myself when I wasn't awakened. You shouldn't hate anything. You know, I refrain from saying I hate something. I can look at something and I can look at it objectively, or we can look at it subjectively. So I think it's looking at it proactively. How can we be proactive instead of subjective and opinionated and wanting to force a personable perspective, right? So we lose that because we're not trying to justify it with some bullshit reason from the third dimension. We're not trying to justify it with some ridiculous notion that this is right or this is wrong, because there's no right or wrong. Everything is just energy, and everything is a singular truth altogether. It might be a different kind of truth, but it's still the same truth. It doesn't matter if it's Christianity, Buddhism, what psychics do like we do, and meditation and things of that nature. It's all the same stuff. And me and my girlfriend, I watched a trailer today, the Jesus Revolution, and these people had a humongous wave back in the day, like I think it was maybe the 60s or the 70s, where they were healing people and slaying people in the spirit. What that means is that the power of God is coming over them so much, and they're entering a metaphysical space where they're having a change within themselves and also in the way they talk. So it's like I would watch this guy, he's in Tampa, his name is Dr. Rodney Howard King, I believe. Not Rodney King, I can't remember his name. But you can look him up online, he's in Tampa. But he would just walk to people and touch them and they would fall to the floor. Well, that's happening in the spiritual community too. And I think that I asked my girlfriend, like, what the fuck happened? Did that go away? I think there's still a little bit of that, and also the holy laughter in the 90s and things of that nature. So I know that some of you will be turned off by what I'm talking about, but it's still the same thing. It's still the river of God's source energy. It's still the flow of energy. And that's happening. I've had people, my clients, I've put them under meditative healings and they've cried. I've had another client on the other side, her brother came and I said some words that made her cry because it's something that her brother would have said. So we have a power with our words. We have an ability to heal. We have ability to use sound healing. And we're ushering into that type of energy. It might be a different dynamic than what they did in the church or what they're doing in Buddhism and all of that other stuff. It's still the same. It's not any different. It's still the power and the flow of God's source energy on our lives. So it's understanding that we have the ability to teach, we have the ability to discern, and we have the ability to protect and serve. So we awaken to serve in a different way. Some people go to the military, some people are actors, some people are meant to live out a specific lifetime, but you were the chosen and you were picked to be a healer, to be clairaudience, to be clairsentient, to use your words of wisdom to bring heart healing activations. So we're all here for a purposeful purpose. And I may have not worded everything in the best possible way because my girlfriend was under a prophetic ministry and they'd have to like say words to people and have to be direct. So that's why I say, like, when you are really giving someone a psychic reading, you're in a sense giving them a prophetic word. You can see into the future, it's prophetic. You're giving them a visual, you're giving them a word picture when you give them a card, right? So you're giving them that word picture. And you're giving them signs, confirmations, miracles, and wonders. It's like John Paul Jackson, while he was doing one of his sermons or whatever, saw these orbs floating all around in church. And I watched a video on John Paul Jackson one night, and he was talking about the early days of the Bible, and my girlfriend said he needed to work on you. So in that moment, I was transported to that time. So I know that the days of the Bible were real. It might not be how they tell it in some of the texts that they have now, but they were real. The extraterrestrials have had so much to do with the falling of Atlantis and the things that happen in the Bible with, like, the Apostle Paul, where he would walk around people and they'd be healed, right? And then it's all the same energy. There's many different things that happen. There's some people who will be able to leave their car and then $50,000 is sitting in their car. There's some people who walk into a building and then they walk out of a building and then something is made manifest. So I think guarding our psychic hearts will allow us to see more magic, will allow us to be able to open our hearts more and to be more receptive and to be more vulnerable and to let go even deeper into that I am presence. So I know that was a lot of information, but also book private sessions, 1 hour for $70 for healing, activations, codes, downloads, people on the other side, and we're going to do a meditation, so feel free to take part in this meditation. And I'm going to show you that 3-layered protection grid that you can put over your house at any given time. It's very powerful, and Metatron will help us with that. So if you want to book a private session, contact me. And also see me on YouTube, White Wolf the Oracle, Instagram, whitewolf4741, and BitChute, whitewolftheoracle23_@. So we're going to do a meditation. Feel relaxed. If you need to stretch your neck, if you need to walk, if you need to lay down, if you need to focus on an object, meditate how you want to meditate. And I want you to visualize your space of energy as an electromagnetic kinetic source energy, because you're always spinning and generating energy and generating omnipresence and simultaneity. And I want you north, east, south, and west. I want you to put a 3-layer protection grid over your home. Just know it's as good as copper and rose quartz. And in this protection grid, you have a golden bubble, a bionic blue bubble, and a bubble of fire. So we're going to have the fire dragon help us out with that. And then we're going to have the dark blue galactic dragon. And we're also going to have Jesus help us with this meditation, knowing that you can put 1,000 angels on one side of your house, your guides, and also just using your higher self's authority and discernment, your fairies, whatever it may be. Just use this as a way of building your temple. In times of worry, if you feel like you're in a conflicting altercation in life with a person, you can call upon this protection. And you can also install this and use it on your everyday practice, on your spiritual journey. So you can go everywhere and have this protection grid, meaning that you're changing the energy wherever you go. You have the abundance flowing through you. You have the blessing sourcing through you. And you should just feel like magic wherever you go. And that you're repelling all of this other stuff, negative influences, entities, all of these other things within the world that try to come in, but it can't penetrate that awareness. It can't penetrate that protection within yourself. And I want you to feel the very fact that you can pick how you go about your day. You can choose your thoughts, you can choose your emotions, and you can choose to stay within this protection grid so that you don't step out of it. Because you can't have your left foot in and have your right foot out. So it's kind of like you can't have your feet in 2 boats, because then you're going to do the splits. You got to be in one boat. So you can't be in two worlds. You have to make this your world, your universe. And it's kind of like Metatron's cube. And you can also picture it as a pyramid as well, and also the Infinity 8 symbol. And see how everything changes and allows you to flow with your energy and migrates into the unity that you are, and the safety that you are, and the security that you are. And also how everything just falls into place. Everything is laid at your feet. And there's nothing that can distort it, change it, discombobulate it in any way. So you're determining how you feel, and that if you don't like the state that you're in, just know that the divine will always pick you up, always heal you, and always get that sense of worthiness installed within your hard drive and allow you to go with your heart, and then align it with the mind, and then allow yourself to channel the soul. And as you channel that, you can be an electromagnetic kinetic source energy and be that pyramid that always flows with that electricity, like Nikola Tesla. So you're always generating that electricity because you're always generating that source of energy, that flow of energy, that aqua river flow of God source energy. So it's always that Kundalini energy as well, because there's always a release. And then there's always a way to ground deep within Middle Mother Gaia Earth with this protection. But it's not grounding to forget, but it's grounding to remember your roots. And we're also having the tree people come in. If you've never seen the movie Guardians of the Galaxy, I recommend you watch it, because there's a person, I believe Vin Diesel plays Groot, and he always says, "I am Groot." And that's all he says, which is very beautiful. But the tree people are real, and they allow us to really appreciate nature and give us an example that everything always grows. If you add water within your system, it always grows, and water becomes everything and encapsulates everything in every environment. So allow yourself to be the tree of life, in a sense. So you're becoming this tree of life, not the tree of knowledge. And you have many branches. You have many different types of pine cones, leaves, whatever it may be. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what kind of tree you are. You could be a palm tree if you want to. But what it signifies is that you're always going to keep growing and expanding, and you can never get to a certain point. Because a tree will just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger unless somebody cuts it. But just know that you're not going to be cut with a chainsaw. So you're growing with this tree, and you're finding your soul family. You're finding your soul song. You're finding your soul craft, which is meditation. And you're plugging yourself into the interconnectedness of this world. Everybody take a deep breath. Just know that this is your vacation. This is your oasis. This is the absolute reality made known to you, shown to you. So every day you can guard your heart like this, to the point where you can just walk anywhere and it's not a problem. It's not an issue. Nothing is an issue. That you're not attracting circumstances that are non-abundant. That you're not speaking lack over your empowerment. That you're always subtracting more so you can add more within your space, and you're generating different causes which are generating different effects. And you're seeing that when you're in this bubble, nothing can stop you. You're unstoppable, meaning that you're generating a manifestation of perfect timelines in parallel realities. And you're tapping into your monad I am presence, which are aligning with you. Your brothers, sisters, / cousins / daughters are aligning with you in this moment. And it's just a smoother journey. It's, not going upstream, it's just letting that downstream of that Niagara Falls, that aquifer flow of God source energy, to be continuous in its workings. It's the inner workings that allow our outer workings to be made manifest. It's our deconstruction over our mind and our body and our ego and our vanity and all the things that don't make us the divine in the dark night of the soul, that allows us to tap more into that divine essence. And then true, humble beginnings happen. And just know it's purifying where you're coming from instead of where you're going. And so it is. So thank you guys for tuning into this live feed. So thank you guys so much for tuning into this live feed. I hope the connection was great. It seemed like the connection was great. There's people commenting and seeing the feed and stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed that meditation. Also, you can book a private session for 1 hour for $70 for readings, healings, activations, etc. Just message me and pick a time, date, and day when you want that to happen for you. And also YouTube, White Wolf the Oracle, Instagram, whitewolf4741, Bishu, White Wolf the Oracle 23 _@ I want to thank you guys for attending this live feed, and I just want you guys to know, by guarding your heart, meaning you're guarding the temple of God, you're guarding yourself, you're guarding your well-being, and you're also guarding the way you feel. You don't want to feel like shit, but if you do feel like shit, it's okay too. See, it's all accepted. I want you guys to understand that it's all fine. Because the other day I did not feel good at all, like during the day, and I actually feel more alive at night than I do during the day. It's because it's more quiet, more peaceful, and things of that nature. So I want to thank you guys for being open to being receptive, and also know that you can find videos anytime. Book private session for 1 hour for $70. Share this out and like it, and just have acceptance. Just be okay. Know that you're protected if you just ask the divine. And sometimes it's just asking and speaking to the divine directly at all times. And one last thing I would like to say, walk out in nature and walk barefoot for at least 2 to 3 minutes, or even 30 minutes, as much as you want. I just do 2 or 3 minutes. I go out in the backyard and I ground, and then I make some videos. Just find inspiration, find joy, find wonder within everything that you do, and it will be beautiful in its own right. And just explore. Don't be afraid to explore your gifting and where your gifting wants to take you. So thank you for tuning into this meditation. Feel free to share out, and also book the private session. And God bless. Namaste, and have a good one.